You people don't belong in this neighborhood. Officer Steve Anderson towers over the black woman outside the grocery store. His hand rests on his radio. I'm sorry, officer. I was just... Just what? Stealing? Dealing drugs? Anderson steps closer. This is a decent area. We don't tolerate ghetto trash here. Diana Brown clutches her shopping list. The paper crumples in her palm. I understand your concern, but I'm simply grocery shopping. Anderson laughs coldly. With what money? Food stamps? Or planning to shoplift like the rest of your kind? His partner grins. Radio chatter crackles from their belts. Matter of fact, let's see some ID. And that purse, probably stolen anyway. Diana's voice stays level. Officer, I haven't committed any crime. That's what they all say. Anderson's fingers tap his weapon holster. Suspicious activity, loitering, public nuisance. Take your pick, sweetheart. Drop a comment if you've been profiled just for existing. The grocery store doors slide open and closed. Customers inside peer through glass. These officers have no idea who they're harassing. 3 days ago, Diana Brown made history. The Senate confirmed her as the first black woman on the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, 47-31, a lifetime appointment to the federal bench. The swearing-in ceremony drew national attention. Civil rights leaders filled the courthouse steps. Diana's mother cried during the oath. 25 years climbing from public defender to federal judge. Every case, every brief, every late night studying constitutional law led to this singular moment. The confirmation hearings tested her resolve. Senator Bradley questioned her experience with criminal law. Senator Walsh suggested potential bias in civil rights cases. Senator Morrison implied she lacked judicial temperament. All white men, all skeptical of her qualifications. Diana answered every challenge with Supreme Court precedent and constitutional scholarship. She remembers Senator Bradley's exact words. Ms. Brown, can we trust you to apply the law impartially? The question stung. No white male nominee ever faced that doubt. Diana responded with her case record. 15 years in private practice, 300 civil rights cases, a reputation for thorough preparation and legal precision, but today feels refreshingly normal. Humans. Saturday afternoon in Austin. Diana wanted groceries for Saturday dinner with her family. Her daughter Michelle flies in from Harvard Law tonight. Her son David drives down from his medical residency in Dallas. Simple traditions matter more after a week of Senate chambers and federal protocol. She chose the East Austin HEB deliberately, the neighborhood where she grew up, where her grandmother Rosa taught her to pick fresh cilantro and test avocados for ripeness, where community grocery shopping meant catching up with neighbors and sharing family news about weddings and graduations. This store holds decades of memories. Diana bought her first apartment's groceries here 20 years ago. She brought her children here for back-to-school shopping every August. The checkout clerks know her face, her usual purchases, her preference for paper bags over plastic. Diana's legal career began 3 blocks away at the community legal clinic. Pro bono work defending families against landlord harassment, immigration cases for undocumented workers, small claims disputes over unpaid wages. The work that taught her justice starts in neighborhoods like this one. Her private practice specialized in civil rights violations. Police misconduct cases filled her calendar for 15 years. She knows the patterns intimately. Traffic stops that escalate without cause. Use of force reports with convenient gaps. Internal affairs investigations that find no wrongdoing despite clear video evidence. She's testified before Congress about police accountability. Written amicus briefs for Supreme Court cases on Fourth Amendment protections. Lectured at law schools about constitutional safeguards. The Fourth Amendment isn't theoretical to her. It's personal. It's practical. It's the foundation of American justice. The irony strikes her now, standing in this parking lot. 25 years defending civil rights. A federal judge sworn to uphold constitutional law, being harassed by local police for shopping while black, in her own childhood neighborhood. Diana checks her phone. 12 missed calls from the courthouse clerk. 3 voicemails from legal reporters. Her confirmation made powerful enemies. Conservative blogs question her judicial philosophy daily. Police unions actively opposed her appointment. She silences the phone and adjusts her purse strap. The shopping list crinkles in her palm. The officers move closer, positioning themselves to block her path to the store entrance. Their body language screams aggression. "Ma'am, we need to see some ID, right now." Anderson's voice cuts through the afternoon heat. His partner, Officer Ryan Clark, flanks Diana's left side. Both men wear tactical vests and sunglasses despite the overcast sky. Their boots crunch on loose gravel. Diana stops walking. Her keys jangle in her hand. "Officers, may I ask why?" "Don't play stupid." Anderson steps closer. His cologne mingles with the smell of gun oil and sweat. "You've been loitering out here for 10 minutes. Suspicious behavior." "I just arrived. I'm going grocery shopping." Clark laughs. "Sure you are. In this neighborhood? With that designer purse?" He points at her leather bag. "That's worth more than most people here make in a month. What's your game?" Diana maintains her composure. 25 years of courtroom experience taught her to stay calm under pressure. "Never let them see you rattled." "Gentlemen, I haven't violated any laws." "That's what they all say." Anderson's hand hovers near his radio. The static crackles intermittently. "Probable cause for drug activity. This area is known for dealers, corner boys, street walkers." A young Latina woman pushing a shopping cart stops to watch. Her toddler sits in the front seat, sucking a juice box. She pulls out her phone. The recording light blinks red. "Turn that off!" Clark barks at the woman. "Police business, move along." She doesn't move. Her phone stays up. More shoppers emerge from the automatic doors. An elderly black man with a walking cane and VFW baseball cap. A white couple with twin toddlers in a double stroller. A teenage boy in a fast food uniform. All watching. All filming. "Ma'am, I need to search for that purse." Anderson reaches toward Diana's bag with rubber-gloved hands. "Could be carrying narcotics, weapons, stolen merchandise. Let's just take a quick peek." Diana pulls her purse closer to her body. "Officer, you have no legal grounds for search and seizure. The Fourth Amendment protects against unreasonable searches." "Listen here, lady." Anderson's face reddens beneath his aviator sunglasses. "Don't lecture me about the law. I've been doing this for 8 years. I know what I see. Expensive clothes, fancy jewelry, acting nervous around police. Classic profile." "I'm not nervous. I'm confused about your aggressive behavior toward a law-abiding citizen." "My behavior?" Anderson laughs harshly. The sound echoes off parked cars. "You people always play the victim. Always got an excuse. Always know your rights until reality hits." The crowd grows larger. Cell phone cameras capture every word, every gesture, every violation of Diana's constitutional rights. Someone calls out, "Leave that lady alone!" "You got warrants? Outstanding tickets? Baby daddy owes child support?" Clark joins the harassment. His voice carries across the parking lot. "We can run your name right now. Do this easy or hard." Diana's legal training kicks in automatically. Document everything. Stay calm. Protect your rights. She reaches slowly for her phone in her jacket pocket. "Don't you dare!" Anderson lunges forward. "Put your hands where I can see them. No sudden movements." His hand drops to his weapon holster. The leather strap unsnaps with a sharp click. The crowd gasps collectively. Children start crying. Someone screams, "Oh my God!" "Officer, I'm simply reaching for my phone to record this interaction for my protection." "Resisting arrest! Failure to comply with lawful orders!" Anderson's voice echoes across the parking lot. "Turn around! Hands behind your back, now!" Clark pulls out handcuffs. The metal catches sunlight and gleams. His radio crackles with dispatcher chatter. "This is harassment," Diana says clearly for the cameras. Her voice projects with courtroom authority. I am committing no crime. I am a citizen attempting to shop for groceries. We decide what's criminal, Anderson sneers. He steps into her personal space. Welcome to reality, princess. This ain't your fancy courthouse. Diana knows this moment will change everything. Stop being difficult! Anderson's voice rises to a shout. Spit flies from his mouth. We're trying to help you here. Clark moves behind Diana, blocking her exit route to the store. His boots scrape on asphalt. His radio squawks with static. Unit 247 requesting backup at East 7th and Pleasant Valley. Possible code 1199. The suspect is non-compliant and agitating bystanders. Help me? Diana's voice stays controlled despite the escalating aggression. Her legal training keeps her calm. By violating my constitutional rights in a grocery store parking lot? Constitutional rights? Anderson spits. His face reddens with anger and Texas heat. Lady, you're in the real world now. Not some liberal law school classroom where they fill your head with fancy ideas about how things work. The crowd swells to nearly 40 people now. Phones record from every angle. Vertical videos upload to TikTok in real time. An older black woman in medical scrubs shouts, "Y'all need to leave her alone. She ain't done nothing." A teenager live streams on Instagram with the caption, "Police harassment in East Austin right now. This is crazy. #police accountability. #Black Lives Matter." Clark grabs his pepper spray canister from his utility belt. The orange safety cap clicks off with a sharp plastic snap. Ma'am, you're creating a public disturbance, inciting a crowd to riot. That's a felony charge. I'm standing still, Diana replies. Her voice carries across the parking lot with courtroom authority. These citizens are witnessing your behavior because it's inappropriate and unconstitutional. Witnesses? Anderson laughs coldly. The sound echoes off concrete walls and parked cars. These people? Half of them probably have active warrants. The other half are illegals who shouldn't even be in this country. A man in construction clothes steps forward. Concrete dust covers his work boots. Hey, we got rights too. This is America. You can't treat people like this. Back off. Clark brandishes the pepper spray like a weapon. Orange liquid sloshes inside the clear plastic canister. All of you, this is official police business. Disperse immediately or face arrest for interfering. But the crowd doesn't disperse. If anything, more people emerge from surrounding businesses drawn by the commotion. A food truck worker with a grease-stained apron and hairnet. A nail salon employee still wearing purple latex gloves. A group of University of Texas students with backpacks and Hook 'em Horns t-shirts recording everything on their phones. You people think you can just walk into decent neighborhoods, Anderson continues his racist tirade. His voice gets louder and more aggressive with each word. Flash some stolen credit cards, act like you belong, scope out houses to rob later. We see right through your criminal act. Diana maintains direct eye contact. Never show fear to bullies or tyrants. Officer Anderson, she reads his name tag deliberately, clearly, your assumptions are both factually wrong and constitutionally illegal under the 4th and 14th Amendments. Illegal? His hand rests menacingly on his gun grip. The leather holster creaks under pressure. I'll show you what's illegal. Resisting arrest, disturbing the peace, assault on a police officer, obstruction of justice. Take your pick of charges. I haven't touched you or resisted anything. Yet. Anderson grins menacingly. A gold tooth glints in afternoon sunlight filtering through clouds. But you're about to when we arrest your lying criminal ass and search that stolen purse. Clark pulls out his collapsible steel baton. The telescoping metal extends with a sharp, threatening snick. Several people in the crowd gasp audibly and step backward instinctively. Children hide behind their parents' legs. This is insane, someone shouts from the growing crowd. A woman in yoga clothes waves her phone. Somebody call the news! Call Internal Affairs! Call the FBI! Already did, another voice responds. A man in a delivery uniform holds up his phone. Channel 7's on the way! So is Channel 4! This is going viral right now! Anderson's eyes flash with panic mixed with anger. Media attention means public scrutiny. Scrutiny means paperwork and questions. Questions mean explaining their actions to supervisors and internal affairs investigators. Great. Just fucking great. Now we got media attention because the princess here couldn't follow simple, lawful police instructions like a normal person. Diana realizes the officers are now completely trapped by their own escalating aggression and racist behavior. Too many witnesses filming everything. Too many cameras capturing audio. Too much social media attention for them to simply walk away without losing face in front of their backup units. Officer? She tries one final reasonable approach. Her practiced courtroom voice projects calm authority. Perhaps we can de-escalate this situation professionally. I'm happy to show identification if you can articulate the specific, lawful justification for this investigative stop under Terry versus Ohio. Legal justification? Clark laughs harshly. Sweat drips from his forehead despite the cooling afternoon temperature. How about you look exactly like a drug dealer? How about you're in a documented high crime area? How about you're acting suspicious as hell and probably armed? What exactly appears suspicious about a woman grocery shopping on Saturday afternoon? The attitude! Anderson snarls. He steps closer, deliberately invading her personal space. The smart mouth. The expensive clothes in a ghetto neighborhood. The way you keep trying to reach for concealed weapons. A white KVUE news van screeches into the parking lot. Channel 7's bright logo gleams on the side panel. A professional blonde reporter and cameraman with expensive equipment jump out, already recording live footage. The red recording light blinks ominously. Oh, perfect, Anderson mutters under his breath. Just fucking perfect. Career suicide in progress. The pressure mounts exponentially by the second. Dozens of angry witnesses. Live television news coverage. Social media streaming to thousands of viewers. The officers have created their own public relations and legal nightmare through their aggressive, racist behavior. Diana sees the inescapable trap they've built for themselves and knows everything changes right now. Diana reaches slowly into her jacket pocket. Anderson's hand moves to his gun. Clark raises the pepper spray. The crowd holds its collective breath. Cell phone cameras zoom in. "Weapon!" Clark shouts. "She's going for a weapon!" No sudden movements. Anderson's voice cracks with adrenaline and panic. "Hands where I can see them! Do it now!" Diana's movements stay deliberate, controlled, measured like every decision she's made in federal court. She withdraws a black leather wallet, not her phone, not a weapon. Something far more powerful than either officer can imagine. "Officers." Her voice transforms completely. No longer defensive, no longer accommodating. Pure judicial authority fills every syllable. "I'm Federal Judge Diana Brown." She opens the wallet with practiced precision. Federal credentials gleam in afternoon sunlight. The gold seal of the United States District Court catches Anderson's eye first. Then the federal judge identification card with holographic security features. Then the official photograph matching the woman standing in front of him. Anderson's face drains of all colors. His mouth opens wordlessly. "What? What?" "Federal Judge Diana Brown," she repeats with crystal clarity. Her voice carries across the entire parking lot. Every phone camera captures this historic moment. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, confirmed by the United States Senate 72 hours ago by a vote of 47 to 31. Clark's pepper spray hand wavers unsteadily. His brain struggles to process this information. That's not possible. You can't be... "Officer Anderson, badge number 1447. Diana's courtroom presence emerges in full force. Her voice projects with constitutional authority. "You have just violated approximately 6 constitutional amendments in full view of news cameras and 43 witnesses. The 1st, 4th, 5th, 8th, 14th, and arguably the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution." Anderson stares at the federal credentials like they might disappear if he blinks hard enough. His partner backs away instinctively from the unfolding disaster. 20 years of police academy training and street experience teaches you one immutable rule: defer to federal authority. Even corrupt cops understand that basic hierarchy. Judge Brown? The Channel 7 news reporter approaches cautiously with microphone extended and cameraman in tow. Your Honor, can you comment on what just occurred here? Diana turns to face the camera directly. No hesitation. No media training needed. I was attempting to purchase groceries for my family when these officers approached me without reasonable suspicion, reasonable articulable facts, or probable cause. They demanded illegal searches based solely and explicitly on my race. Anderson finally finds his voice, stammering now like a teenager caught cheating. We didn't know. I mean, we thought you were... I looked like what, Officer Anderson? Diana's question hangs in the Texas air like a judicial gavel waiting to fall. Like a black woman who belongs in this neighborhood? Because I do belong here. I grew up 6 blocks from this exact location. The crowd erupts in sustained cheers and applause. Someone shouts, "That's right, Judge! Tell these fools!" Another voice yells, "You just got schooled by a federal judge!" A third person screams, "Justice!" Clark attempts pathetic damage control. His voice shakes with fear. "Ma'am, Your Honor, we sincerely apologize for any misunderstanding or miscommunication." Misunderstanding? Diana's eyebrows raise with prosecutorial precision. You called me ghetto trash. You assumed I was using stolen credit cards. You threatened to arrest me for the crime of grocery shopping while black. Officer Clark, what part of that racist behavior suggests a mere misunderstanding? Anderson's radio crackles urgently. Unit 247, Unit 247, what's your current status? Requesting immediate status update. He can't answer. His thumb hovers over the radio button. What does he say to dispatch? That they just racially profiled a sitting federal judge? That everything is recorded on multiple devices? That their law enforcement careers just ended in spectacular fashion? This encounter is now federal evidence, Diana states clearly for every camera recording. Officer Anderson, your conduct constitutes deprivation of rights under color of law. Title 18, Section 242 of the United States Code. A federal felony punishable by up to life imprisonment. The reporter's eyes widen as she realizes she's witnessing major breaking news that will lead tonight's broadcast. Your Honor, will you be filing criminal charges against these officers? Diana looks directly at Anderson. His earlier arrogance has completely evaporated. His partner stands frozen in shock. Both men now understand their legal situation with perfect clarity. The law applies to everyone, officers, including both of you. Anderson's hand trembles visibly as he finally reaches for his radio to call for supervisors. Diana doesn't go home that Saturday night. She goes straight to the federal courthouse downtown, her mind racing through constitutional precedents and civil rights violations. By Monday morning at 7:23 a.m., her phone rings with a voice that will change everything forever. Judge Brown, this is Agent Michael Torres, Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. His tone carries both deep respect and pressing urgency. We need to talk immediately about your incident, and much more. They meet in Diana's spacious federal chambers Tuesday afternoon. Autumn sunlight streams through tall windows as Torres spreads hundreds of documents across her mahogany conference table like evidence at a capital murder trial. Bankers' boxes of files cover every available surface in the room. Your Honor, we've been conducting a comprehensive investigation of the Austin Police Department for 18 months under Federal Pattern and Practice Review Authority. Your incident Saturday afternoon? It's the exact trigger event we needed to move forward with criminal charges. The first document stops Diana completely cold. a comprehensive spreadsheet titled Austin Police Department Excessive Force Complaint Analysis 2022-2024. 847 documented excessive force complaints filed against the department. 91% specifically target minorities. The numbers are both staggering and legally undeniable. This is just the beginning of what we've uncovered, Torres continues grimly. He slides Anderson's complete personnel file across the polished wood surface. Officer Steve Anderson alone has 23 virtually identical incidents documented since January 2022. Every single complaint is systematically dismissed by Internal Affairs. Every incident follows the exact same racial targeting pattern. Same neighborhoods every time? Diana asks, already knowing the devastating answer. East Austin, Riverside, Del Valle, specifically targeting areas currently undergoing rapid gentrification and dramatic property value increases. Torres highlights specific addresses on a detailed city map with red pins. Internal department memos consistently refer to them as community improvement zones, requiring enhanced police presence and proactive intervention. Diana studies the clear geographic pattern with her extensive constitutional law expertise. She recognizes systematic targeting immediately. This isn't random police work or isolated individual bad actors. It's calculated, organized harassment specifically designed to displace minority residents from increasingly valuable real estate. Receipt after receipt emerges methodically from Torres's meticulously organized briefcase. Radio dispatch transcripts showing supervisors explicitly directing increased proactive policing in minority neighborhoods during peak shopping and family hours. Detailed training materials teaching officers to identify out-of-place individuals based on clothing quality, vehicle types, and behavioral patterns. Budget documents directly linking federal community policing grants to specific arrest quotas in targeted zip codes. Anderson's partner, Officer Ryan Clark, started secretly recording conversations with supervisors and fellow officers 3 months ago, Torres reveals with satisfaction. He approached us voluntarily after witnessing systematic civil rights violations. He's cooperating fully with our federal investigation. The audio files are legally devastating and morally horrifying. Anderson bragged to other officers about cleaning up the streets for decent, hard-working people. Supervisors explicitly praised aggressive tactics against undesirable elements. One particularly damning recording captures Anderson saying, "These people need to learn their proper place in this city. Keep them scared and intimidated, and they'll move somewhere else." Diana's grocery store incident wasn't an isolated case of individual racism. It was established department policy being implemented exactly as designed by leadership. The HEB store security cameras captured everything from multiple angles in high definition, Torres adds, producing crystal-clear photographs. But here's what's particularly legally interesting. Both officers' mandatory body cameras experienced simultaneous technical malfunctions during your encounter. He shows her the comprehensive digital forensics technical analysis report. 2 completely different camera systems from different manufacturers both failed at exactly 3:47 p.m. The precise moment Anderson first approached Diana in the parking lot. Statistical probability of simultaneous random mechanical failure, less than 0.00001%. Deliberate technical sabotage to destroy evidence? We're investigating that as a separate federal obstruction of justice case with potential criminal conspiracy charges. But Judge Brown, there's significantly more incriminating evidence. The financial records shock even Diana's experienced legal mind. Austin PD received $3 million in federal community policing grants over 3 years. Federal grant requirements explicitly included detailed statistical data on neighborhood crime reduction and quality of life improvements. Translation: numerical arrest quotas specifically targeting minority demographics. More receipts systematically emerge from organized file folders. Internal email chains discussing return on investment calculations for federal grant money. Color-coded spreadsheets meticulously tracking arrests by race, age, income level, and geographic location. Annual performance evaluations specifically rewarding officers for proactive community engagement, department code language for systematically harassing minority residents. Anderson's arrest numbers were consistently exceptional across all metrics, Torres notes with grim irony. Top departmental performer 3 consecutive years. Multiple supervisor commendations for outstanding community impact and neighborhood improvement. Diana recognizes the systematic nature completely now. Individual officer racism deliberately enabled and financially rewarded by institutional incentives. Anderson wasn't a rogue cop acting independently. He was faithfully following established organizational culture and explicit written policy directives. Judge Brown, we absolutely need your specific incident as foundational evidence for our comprehensive federal case. Federal District Court has clear constitutional jurisdiction under Section 1983. Civil rights violations committed under color of state law. Comment if you've experienced similar systematic targeting in your own community. The video evidence from your incident is absolutely overwhelming and legally bulletproof, Torres continues, producing additional file folders. 43 independent witnesses, 7 different camera angles from phones and security systems. Anderson's own racially explicit words recorded clearly on multiple digital devices. Diana studies the complaint database spreadsheet again with fresh legal perspective. The documented pattern is undeniable and constitutionally outrageous. Young black men routinely stopped for loitering while waiting for public buses. Latina women aggressively questioned about immigration status during normal grocery shopping. Elderly minority residents consistently hassled for suspicious behavior, like gardening in their own front yards. How many financial settlements has the city paid to harassment victims? $14.7 million in taxpayer money over 4 years alone. Every single settlement included mandatory non-disclosure agreements, preventing victims from speaking publicly about their experiences. Diana's anger builds systematically with each additional incriminating document. Taxpayers unknowingly funding organized harassment campaigns against their own neighbors. Victims legally silenced through financial pressure and legal intimidation. Officers consistently promoted despite clear, documented misconduct patterns. Your incident completely broke their standard operating system, Judge Brown. Too public. Too many cameras. Too high profile to cover up through normal institutional channels. The final receipt is Anderson's personal text message history obtained through a federal warrant. Screenshots show him actively coordinating with other officers to target uppity minorities moving into gentrifying neighborhoods. One message explicitly reads, "We're keeping property values up by keeping the right kind of people in and the wrong kind out." Diana closes the thick files slowly. The evidence is overwhelming, systematic, and constitutionally devastating. Torres waits respectfully for her response, while federal justice hangs in the balance. By Thursday morning, Austin Police Union President Jack Miller held a press conference. Standing behind a podium with 5 uniformed officers, he launches the counterattack. Judge Diana Brown has shown clear anti-police bias, Miller declares to assembled media. Her false accusations against dedicated officers, Anderson and Clark, represent judicial misconduct of the highest order. Conservative talk radio picks up the narrative immediately. Activist judge attacks Austin police, dominates afternoon drive time. Social media explodes with hashtags. Hashtag judicial overreach. Hashtag back the blue. / anti-police judge. Fox News runs the story nationally. Federal judge abuses power against local police. The Chiron reads, liberal judge targets officers for doing their job. Diana watches the coverage from her chambers. 25 years of legal experience taught her to expect institutional pushback. But this feels different. More coordinated. More vicious. Her phone rings constantly. Reporters demanding statements. Conservative bloggers fishing for quotes. Right-wing websites are already publishing articles questioning her qualifications and temperament. Your Honor? Her clerk, Sarah, stands in the doorway holding a stack of papers. These arrived by courier. Diana reads the first letter. No return address. Block letters spell out, "Activist judges get what they deserve." The second contains a photograph of her house. The third shows her children's names and schools. By Friday afternoon, FBI agent Jennifer Walsh arrives at Diana's chambers. "Judge Brown, we're implementing immediate protective protocols." The death threats escalate quickly. Anonymous calls to her office, emails with detailed descriptions of violence, social media accounts posting her home address with inflammatory rhetoric. "Someone leaked your personal information deliberately," Agent Walsh explains. "Phone numbers, addresses, family details. This level of coordination suggests organized harassment." Austin Police Union releases another statement. "Judge Brown's reckless accusations endanger community safety. Officers Anderson and Clark remain on administrative leave pending investigation, though we maintain their actions were entirely appropriate." Conservative media amplifies every talking point. Tucker Carlson dedicates a segment to "Judicial Activism Run Amok." Laura Ingraham interviews police union representatives who claim Diana is weaponizing the federal bench against law enforcement. Diana's family feels the pressure immediately. Her daughter Michelle calls from Harvard Law School, crying, "Mom, people are posting horrible things about you online. They're saying you hate police officers." Her son David texts from his medical residency, "Mom, someone spray-painted traitor on your car at the hospital. Security is reviewing cameras." The harassment extends beyond social media. Diana's mother receives threatening calls at her nursing home. Someone throws rocks through Diana's office windows downtown. Graffiti appears overnight. Diana Brown equals anti-American. Austin City Council members distance themselves publicly. Mayor Catherine Thompson issues a carefully worded statement. "While we respect judicial independence, we also support our dedicated police officers who serve our community with distinction." Police Chief Robert Martinez holds his own press conference. "The Austin Police Department follows all constitutional guidelines and maintains the highest professional standards. We reject any suggestion of systematic misconduct." Diana realizes the scope of institutional resistance. Not just police defending Anderson. Entire power structures protecting the system that enables abuse. Her judicial colleagues offer mixed support. Some federal judges issue private statements backing her integrity. Others suggest she should have handled this more quietly through proper channels. The threats force practical changes to Diana's life. FBI agents escort her to court each morning. Security sweeps her chambers daily for explosive devices. Her mail gets screened by federal marshals. Agent Walsh updates her Friday evening. "Judge Brown, we've identified several credible threats requiring immediate response. Anonymous donors are funding the harassment campaign through dark money political action committees." Diana asks the obvious question, "How long does this continue?" "Until we establish federal oversight or the story moves to different news cycles," Walsh replies honestly. "Political pressure campaigns typically last 3 to 6 weeks. Diana's isolation grows daily. Former law school classmates avoid returning calls. Legal conference invitations get quietly withdrawn. Professional relationships strain under political pressure. Saturday morning brings the most serious escalation. Diana finds her car tires slashed in the federal courthouse parking garage. Security cameras were mysteriously disabled between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. The message is clear. They can reach her anywhere. Diana sits alone in her chambers Sunday evening, FBI protection detail stationed outside. The mahogany desk her grandmother saved for holds stacks of threatening letters. Each envelope represents someone who wants her silenced. Her phone buzzes with another unknown number. She stopped answering days ago. "Mom?" Michelle's voice sounds small through the speakerphone. "I'm scared. Someone posted photos of me leaving the law library. They know my schedule." Diana closes her eyes. This is what she feared most. Her children are paying for her decision to seek justice. "Honey, The FBI is coordinating with Harvard security. You're safe. But for how long? They're calling you a traitor on every news channel. My constitutional law professor said maybe you should have stayed quiet. Even her daughter's professors question her judgment. David calls minutes later from Dallas. Mom, my attending physician pulled me aside today. Asked if my family situation might affect my residency. People are Googling our name. Diana feels the weight of isolation crushing down. Her children's futures were threatened. Her career is under attack. Her safety is compromised daily. Agent Walsh had delivered the latest threat assessment that morning. Judge Brown, credible intelligence suggests organized groups are planning escalated harassment. We recommend relocating temporarily. Relocating. Running away. Abandoning the federal bench she fought 25 years to reach. Diana walks to her office window overlooking downtown Austin. The city spreads below like a legal brief, facts and law and human stories interconnected. Somewhere in those streets, Anderson walks free on administrative leave. Somewhere, other officers target minority families with impunity. Her reflection stares back from darkened glass. Same face that took the judicial oath 3 days ago. Same woman who swore to uphold constitutional law. But everything feels different now. The landline rings. Diana hesitates, then answers. Judge Brown? This is Patricia Wilson, Chief Judge for the Fifth Circuit. Diana's stomach drops. Her immediate supervisor, the call she's been dreading. Patricia, thank you for calling. Diana, we need to discuss your situation. Several Judicial Council members have expressed concerns about the attention you've brought to the federal bench. There it is. Institutional pressure disguised as collegial advice. I understand their concerns. Perhaps this matter could be resolved more quietly, through proper administrative channels, without media attention. Diana recognizes the suggestion. Back down. Stay silent. Let the system handle Anderson internally. Avoid controversy. Protect the institution. Patricia, with respect, administrative channels have failed for years. 847 complaints dismissed. Millions in settlements. How many more victims before we act? Silence stretches across the line. Finally, Diana, I'm not suggesting you're wrong. I'm suggesting you consider the broader implications. Your confirmation was contentious. This gives your opponents ammunition. The unspoken message. Your seat on the federal bench isn't secure. Don't make waves. After hanging up, Diana sits in growing darkness. No lights, no movement. Just federal authority feeling very small and very alone. What would you do in her position? Her mother calls just after 9 p.m. Diana, baby. I saw the news. Those police officers at my nursing home are asking questions about you, making comments. Even her elderly mother isn't safe from this campaign. Mom, I'm arranging different care arrangements temporarily. Diana, honey, maybe it's time to let this go. Sometimes fighting isn't worth the cost. Her own mother, asking her to abandon justice. Diana realizes how complete her isolation has become. The family was scared, colleagues distancing, the community is divided. Media hostile, law enforcement adversarial. She thinks about Anderson, probably sleeping peacefully tonight. Protected by union lawyers and institutional solidarity. His paycheck continues. His pension is secure. His misconduct was defended as appropriate policing. Meanwhile, she sits surrounded by federal marshals, questioning whether seeking justice was worth destroying everything she worked to build. The weight of federal authority feels meaningless when the entire system resists accountability. Diana Brown, federal judge, wonders if she has the strength to continue. Monday morning brings unexpected hope. Diana's assistant, Sarah, rushes into chambers with her laptop open. Judge Brown, you need to see this. The screen shows hundreds of University of Texas law students gathered on the South Mall. Signs reading, "Justice for Judge Brown" and "Constitutional Rights Matter" fill the frame. A young black woman speaks into a microphone. Federal Judge Diana Brown stood up for what's right. Now we stand up for her. The crowd erupts in cheers. Diana watches, tears forming. It gets better, Sarah says, clicking to another tab. Harvard Law, Yale, Stanford, students at 15 law schools are organizing solidarity events. Diana's phone rings. Judge Brown? This is Professor James Mitchell from UT Law School. I wanted you to know that the Faculty Senate voted unanimously to support your actions. We're issuing a statement today. More calls follow rapidly. The American Civil Liberties Union, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, the National Bar Association, organization after organization publicly backing her integrity. Judge Brown, Sarah announces, Channel 7 wants to interview community members who support you. Diana watches the noon broadcast from her chambers. Mrs. Rodriguez from the grocery store incident speaks to reporters. That judge, she stood up for all of us. Those police officers, they treat us like criminals every day. An elderly black man with a VFW cap steps forward. I served this country for 30 years. Judge Brown served it Saturday. She's a hero. Social media shifts dramatically. #StandWith. Judge Brown trends nationally. Videos of law students reading constitutional amendments at protests. Professors explaining civil rights law on TikTok. Citizens sharing their own stories of police harassment. Tuesday brings more institutional support. The Federal Judges Association releases a statement. Judge Brown's commitment to constitutional principles exemplifies judicial excellence. Personal attacks against her integrity are attacks against the rule of law itself. Diana's Harvard Law classmates organize a letter-writing campaign. 250 signatures from federal prosecutors, civil rights attorneys, and sitting judges nationwide. The letter appears as a full-page ad in the Washington Post. Her daughter Michelle calls with excitement instead of fear. Mom, my constitutional law professor opened class today talking about your courage. Students gave you a standing ovation. David texts from Dallas. Chief Resident apologized for the earlier comment. Said you're exactly the kind of judge medicine needs. Someone who stands up to authority when it's wrong. Wednesday afternoon, Diana receives an unexpected visitor. Agent Torres returns with a different energy. Judge Brown, we've received over 300 additional complaints about Austin PD since Saturday. People who stayed silent for years are coming forward. Your incident gave them courage. He spreads new documents across her desk. Police reports with witness signatures, cell phone videos of previous harassment, financial records from other settlements. A Texas state senator is calling for legislative hearings. The governor is being pressured to order an independent investigation. Your case broke something open that was festering for years. Thursday brings the most significant development. Diana's chamber's phone rings with a familiar voice. Judge Brown, this is Congresswoman Barbara Lee from California. The Congressional Black Caucus wants to invite you to testify before the House Judiciary Committee about police accountability. Federal testimony, national platform, constitutional spotlight on systematic abuse. Congresswoman, I'd be honored. Judge Brown, what you did matters beyond Austin, beyond Texas. You showed that federal authority can protect constitutional rights when local systems fail. Diana feels strength returning, purpose reconnecting, community support validating her decision. Friday evening, she receives a handwritten letter from an unexpected source. The return address reads, East Austin Community Center. Inside, 43 signatures from grocery store witnesses. The letter reads, Judge Brown, you stood up for us when nobody else would. We stand up for you now. Thank you for showing us that justice isn't just for some people, it's for all people. Diana Brown, federal judge, no longer stands alone. Agent Torres returns to Diana's chambers Friday morning with a laptop and an expression she's never seen before. Pure satisfaction mixed with prosecutorial excitement. "Judge Brown, we just cracked this case wide open." He opens the laptop screen. A technical analysis report fills the display. "Remember those body camera malfunctions? Our digital forensics team found something incredible." The screen shows 2 police body cameras disassembled on a laboratory table, microscopic components highlighted in red. Both cameras were manually disabled using specialized software. Someone with administrative access remotely turned them off at exactly 3:47 p.m., the precise moment Anderson approached you. Diana leans forward. Someone was watching the interaction in real time? Not someone. Multiple people. We tracked the digital signal to Austin PD headquarters, specifically to Supervisor Lieutenant Daniel Hayes' computer terminal. Torres clicks to the next screen. Email timestamps show Hayes receiving notification of Diana's federal judge status minutes before the cameras went dark. Wait. Diana's legal mind processes the implications. They knew who I was before Anderson confronted me? Gets better. Or worse, depending on your perspective. Torres produces an audio file. This is from Clark's secret recordings, recorded 2 hours after your incident. He presses play. Anderson's voice fills the chamber. Lieutenant Hayes called me personally. Said we had a problem. Said the black woman was a fucking federal judge and we needed to make the body cam footage disappear. Diana's blood runs cold. Premeditated evidence destruction. More? Torres clicks to another file. Hayes talking to Chief Martinez Sunday morning. At Chief Martinez's voice. How bad is our exposure to the judge situation? Hayes. Contained, no body cam footage exists. Their word against ours. The media's already painting her as anti-police. This is a conspiracy, Diana states flatly, at the highest levels. But here's where it gets interesting. Torres opens a new folder. The store security system captured more than we initially realized. High-definition audio begins playing. Crystal clear sound from the parking lot incident. Every racial slur, every threat, every violation is perfectly preserved. The store's system has directional microphones for shoplifting prevention. Picks up conversations 30 feet away. Austin PD never knew it existed. Diana hears her own voice responding calmly to Anderson's escalating racism. Then Anderson's words that will end his career. These fucking people think they own this neighborhood now. Time to remind them who's really in charge. He said that on camera? Better. He said it while looking directly at the security camera, almost like he was performing for an audience. Torres grins, which, legally speaking, he was. The next audio clip stops Diana's breath entirely. Anderson's radio transmission immediately after learning her identity. Dispatch, we got a situation. I need to talk to Lieutenant Hayes immediately. Code Black. Code Black? Diana asks. Internal Austin PD code for high-profile incident requiring damage control. We have documented proof they knew exactly who you were and chose to initiate a cover-up. Torres produces printed text messages obtained through federal warrant. A group chat between Anderson, Clark, Hayes, and 3 other supervisors. Anderson. Federal judge situation is fucked. Need full CYA protocol. Hayes. Already handled. Body comes down. The story is about an equipment malfunction. Unknown supervisor. Media narrative already spinning. Union backing full defense. Clark. What if someone recorded with phones? Hayes. Doesn't matter. Our word against theirs. We stick to the story. Diana reads the timestamps. The conspiracy began minutes after she revealed her identity. While she stood in that parking lot answering reporters' questions, Austin PD leadership was already orchestrating a cover-up. There's one final receipt, Torres says quietly. This changes everything. He opens a financial document, Austin PD's federal grant applications for community policing funding, the same $2.3 million in federal money she learned about earlier. Look at the signature on the grant certifications. Diana sees her own name, not her signature. Her name typed as the approving federal authority for grant disbursement. They forged federal documents using your judicial authority while you were still a Senate nominee before confirmation. They used your anticipated position to secure federal funding for programs that explicitly targeted minority communities. Diana stares at the forgery. Her name authorizes money that funded systematic harassment, identity theft, wire fraud, federal grant fraud. Judge Brown, this isn't just civil rights violations anymore. This is an organized criminal conspiracy involving federal funds, identity theft, evidence tampering, and obstruction of justice. Torres closes the laptop. Anderson's career isn't just over. He's facing federal prison, multiple felony counts. And now we know the entire command structure was complicated. Diana realizes the scope of what they've uncovered. Not individual racism, not departmental culture. Criminal conspiracy reaching the highest levels of Austin PD leadership. The receipt that changes everything. Her own forged signature authorizing the money that funded her own harassment. Federal Court, Eastern District of Texas, November 15, 2024. Judge Diana Brown presides over the most important hearing of her career from the bench she nearly abandoned. The courtroom overflows with media, civil rights advocates, and Austin residents. C-SPAN cameras broadcast live to the nation. This isn't just about two racist cops anymore. This is about federal oversight of systematic civil rights violations. This court will now hear arguments in United States versus City of Austin regarding pattern and practice violations under Section 14141, Diana announces. Her voice carries the full weight of federal authority. Agent Torres presents the government's case methodically. Evidence stacks like building blocks toward an inescapable conclusion. 847 complaints. 91% are targeting minorities. $14.7 million in settlements. Forged federal documents. Organized cover-ups. Austin's legal team sits at the defense table looking increasingly desperate. Mayor Thompson, Chief Martinez, and union representatives whisper frantically among themselves. Your Honor, Austin's lead attorney argues, the incidents in question represent isolated misconduct by individual officers, not systematic departmental policy. Diana's response cuts through the courtroom like a judicial scalpel. Counselor, isolated incidents don't require code black damage control protocols. Isolated incidents don't involve forged federal signatures. Isolated incidents don't generate $2.3 million in fraudulent grant applications. She turns toward Chief Martinez in the gallery. Chief Martinez, you testified under oath that Austin PD maintains the highest professional standards. Please explain to this court how forging a federal judge's signature meets those standards. Martinez shifts uncomfortably. His attorney whispers urgently, Your Honor, the department was unaware of any document irregularities. Chief Martinez, Diana interrupts. This court has audio recordings of you discussing cover-up protocols 2 hours after the incident. Would you like Agent Torres to play those recordings for the court? Silence. 20 seconds that feel like 20 minutes. Martinez realizes his position is legally indefensible. Diana continues. For the record, the evidence shows systematic targeting of minority residents in gentrifying neighborhoods. Evidence shows officers rewarded for harassment through performance evaluations. Evidence shows federal grant money obtained through fraud and used to fund constitutional violations. She addresses the packed courtroom. This court finds clear and convincing evidence of pattern and practice violations requiring immediate federal intervention. The gallery erupts in applause. Diana gavels for order. Austin Police Department will enter a comprehensive consent decree under federal supervision. The terms include mandatory body cameras, civilian oversight, retraining protocols, and financial monitoring of all federal grants. Mayor Thompson stands. Your Honor, the city respectfully requests. The city requested this outcome through its own actions. Diana cuts her off. Constitutional violations have consequences. Federal oversight is one of them. Diana looks directly at the area where Anderson should be sitting. His attorney represents him in absentia. Anderson himself sits in federal custody awaiting trial on multiple felony charges. Officer Anderson will face federal prosecution for civil rights violations, conspiracy, fraud, and obstruction of justice. If convicted, he faces up to 20 years in federal prison. She turns to Lieutenant Hayes, also in custody. Lieutenant Hayes, your conspiracy to destroy evidence and forge federal documents constitutes serious federal crimes. This court recommends maximum penalties. Diana addresses the community members filling the gallery. To the residents of East Austin who suffered systematic harassment, your federal government acknowledges the violations of your constitutional rights. This consent decree ensures those violations end today. The courtroom erupts again. This time Diana lets the applause continue. Furthermore, she continues, Austin Police Department will pay $50 million in restitution to affected community members. The settlement fund will be administered by federal monitors to ensure proper distribution. Austin's attorney objects, Your Honor, that amount exceeds the city's budget. Then perhaps the city should have considered budgetary constraints before spending millions to violate citizens' constitutional rights. Diana responds sharply. The hearing concludes with Diana's final pronouncement. Let this case establish clear precedent. No police department is above federal law. No officer is immune from constitutional accountability. And no community will suffer systematic harassment without federal intervention. She gavels the hearing to a close. The sound echoes through the courtroom like constitutional thunder. Justice, at last, has been served. 6 months later, Diana walks through the same HEB parking lot. No threats, no escorts, just groceries. The consent decree works. Anderson serves 15 years in federal prison. Hayes got 12. Chief Martinez resigned. Austin PD transformed completely. Diana's phone buzzes. Michelle texts. Mom, law school calls your case the Brown standard now. Federal judges nationwide cite her precedent. Chicago, Baltimore, Phoenix. Constitutional accountability spreads. Mrs. Rodriguez approaches with her granddaughter. Judge Brown, this is the judge who stood up for us. The little girl stares with wide eyes. Are you really a judge? I am. And someday you can be too. Diana pays without incident. No harassment, no profiling, constitutional rights working as designed. At a red light, she watches a young black man walk past 2 officers. No confrontation, no demands, just citizens sharing public space peacefully. The Brown standard in action. Congresswoman Lee calls, Judge Brown, the House passed federal police accountability legislation. Your testimony was crucial. National change from a parking lot moment. Diana drives through East Austin, her neighborhood, where grandmother Rosa taught justice lessons, where constitutional law met street reality. Some badges protect, others prey. Federal authority ensures protection prevails. Like and subscribe if accountability matters. Comment on your stories of standing up for justice. Share if constitutional rights belong to everyone. Constitutional justice requires courage. Diana Brown stood up. Federal law backed her up. Communities benefit. Some badges protect. This one delivered justice.
The story you heard today wasn't cleaned up. It was told exactly as it happened. At Black Voices Uncut, we believe that's the only way truth can live. If you felt something, hit like, comment, and your reaction, and subscribe. Every week, we bring you voices that refuse to be silenced.